Hey guys, Scott back again with a new beer dissection video. I'm back still on Long Island here on some of my most recent videos, at least that I've recorded. I may not have all posted them yet to my YouTube channel. But I'm back on Long Island, back to Sand City Brewing Company, called Red Sand. This is their amber ale that they say is hopped, or I'm sorry, dry hopped. Most beers are hopped. This is at 6.8% alcohol. I've reviewed a few beers from them, one with a great name called Oops, I Hopped My Pants, and a couple other New England IPAs. Just recently I brewed, I wish I remember the name of it, but a buddy of mine picked some of these up for me, who's been home brewing for years too. And I don't think I've ever had a dry hopped amber ale, but I do have good memories of the other Sand City beers. And if you are interested in this brewery and now, or whether it's after this video, take a look under the beer dissection area, and I think most of them, if I recall, were kind of hazy, juicy IPAs, which are all the rage these days. And again, they're out of Northport, Long Island, as well as I think they have a tap room, if not a brewery, also down in Bayshore. So those of you that live on Long Island also, you may be able to find them. But I've been really getting great vibes from this brewery because of the beers that I've been having. So again, Red Sand, dry hop, pretty nice looking outside label of the can, like most of these. This can is 16 ounces, like many of these larger cans are. And let me see if there's any other distinguishing stuff, but I'm sure I'll have the can pop it over my shoulder here as I go over it. Remember, I may do a video one day. You know, this is American Amber Ale, dry hopped, versus, say, a California Common beer versus an American Pale Ale. You may want to always look at the BJCP, which is the Beer Judge Certification Program, which gives us the guidelines of the roughly 100 and some odd beers out there. Not that they're written laws that the brewers have to follow, but as a consumer, it kind of gives you an idea about alcohol percentage, guidelines, IBU units, which is your bitterness from the hops, SRM, the color of the beer. Because again, you don't want an amber ale that looks like a stout, or you don't want a Kolsch that looks like a porter, or vice versa. Okay, so you may want to check that out. It's a free download. I studied it a lot when I was taking the Cicerone test, at least the written portion. You know, those of you know me, I have to still take the tasting portion. There's been a lot of drama, so I haven't been able to sit for that yet. Okay, so let's pop this bad boy open. Okay, I'm just using my typical kind of tulip glass here, especially since it's dry hop. Sorry, as I'm pouring it, something came off the edge, so I got a little slight spill here. Okay, but let that pour in there. Okay, so what do we have? All right, pretty nice pronounce. I pour more aggressively. That's more my pour these days. You know, a few inches of pretty white to light tan, dense head. Perfectly crystal clear amber to kind of a dark amber, maybe even light copper color. No haze at all to it, which you wouldn't expect in amber ale. This is not a New England IPA or hazy, or even just a regular American IPA that you get a lot of the haze in there. But with an amber ale, you typically would not want to see haze. So you see it pretty much clear. And if I put it up to the camera closer, you could probably see me through it. But very pretty looking beer. Let's take a sniff of the aroma. Oh, nice. You know, on the malt side, again, I got that kind of that biscuit top, light, like challah bread. And being on Long Island, we got challah bread all over the place. So, you know, kind of crusty challah bread on the malt aroma. The hops, to me, they're coming across as kind of herbal, slightly floral. Almost like a lemongrass even. Okay, but very pleasant. I mean, overall very pleasant, even though I'm trying to give you descriptors on what I'm perceiving. But still extremely pretty looking beer here. Okay, guys, cheers. Let's take a taste of it. Again, remember, Sand City Brewing Company, Red Sand. Oh. Medium carbonation. On the palate, I'm still getting kind of like I'm getting the crusty bread, challah bread crust. Those of you not familiar with challah bread, taste the crust on it. It's like kind of got a little Maillard reaction going on. This is also kind of giving me a slightly toffee and nutty on the malt. It's pretty crisp. I'm not getting blown away, in which you wouldn't expect an amber ale to get much, blown away with the hops. There is that slightly fruity, floral kind of hop flavor to it. But, don't drink an amber ale expecting it's going to be like blown away with hops, like fruit juice, like New England IPAs are going to be. Okay, this amber ale is a specific kind of style with this, but it has a nice malt backbone to it. Like I said, kind of medium to medium light bodied. No alcoholic warmth, which I wouldn't expect much for this ABV percentage. Very nice though. On the aftertaste, you're not left with that much as far as hops, but I get that little lingering toffee nut, slightly caramelized taste on my back end of this. Very pleasant though. It's really nice. Pretty well attenuated, which means there's not a lot of residual sweetness to this. It is actually drinking quite dry. I'm not going to say it's drinking dry like a Belgian Golden Strong, but it doesn't have a ton of residual sweetness on the back end. So it's not like cloyingly sweet. It's actually quite crisp and refreshing. Really enjoying this. On the nose again, it's slightly herbal, floral character. Again, you get that challah bread crusty, nutty toffee kind of aroma, because I'm sure they're probably using some type of crystal malt in there. Very nice. Again, I mean, it's drinking like a classic amber ale. Sometimes I have people like friends that, they love their IPAs and their New England IPAs and juices, which is fantastic. If that's all you enjoy, then this may not be a beer that you particularly like, because this has a malt backbone of the bread crust, challah bread, toast, slight toffee, caramel, with that hint of herbal, floral kind of hop character. I don't know the grist and the hops they're using on this. I could probably be a little more detailed. Some beers I can go a lot more detailed before I do these videos. But this is very well made. So whether you like this beer or not, it's well made. I could tell. Not that I'm a professional brewer. I've homebrewed for many years and I've studied beer. But you got the clarity and the color. Obviously the head is died down because I've been doing this video now for roughly several minutes. But very nice. Just want to take the aroma in one more time. Yeah, you kind of get that toffee nutty, kind of like a hazelnut, or even sometimes you take pinoli nuts and you roast them in the pan a little bit and you kind of smell them like you're putting them in the pesto. That's kind of what you get on this. It's very nice. Again, very well made. As far as beers are concerned, and especially this dry hopped amber ale, this is a good A beer, A plus. I wouldn't go any lower than like an A minus with this, and that's if I really wanted to split hairs. If I had a 6-pack of this, and I could sit there and be retentive and be like, I didn't do this. Now the dry hopping, I wish they told me what hops they used on it. I can't pick it up. Not that you can pick it up on all the hops. But the aroma on it, like I said, it's lingering with the malt. But there's definitely a kind of a very, herbal or earthy, slightly fruity aroma to it, but nothing like, no grapefruit, no orange juice, no mandarin, or pineapple or tropical fruit, nothing like that. And I wouldn't want that in an amber ale. If you want that, go to your hazies, your juicies, okay, or some regular, typical American IPAs. But very good. Like I said, not a lot of residual sweetness at all with it. So if you like nice malt forward beers that are pretty well attenuating, meaning not like overly sweet, with pretty neutral hops, earthy, herbal type of hops, this beer is for you. This is really an outstanding beer. Maybe even the best beer I've had from Sand City, even though I think I've ranked the juicy hazies that I've reviewed on this page very high also. But I will not hesitate to continue. Like I said, I think I've reviewed, this may be the fourth beer, depending on when you're watching this, that I've reviewed from this brewing company. And I don't know the brewers. I don't work for them or whatever it is, but I rate these beers and drink them the way I see it. And it's not always going to align with what you guys think. But this is very well made, and this is really a good amber ale. I would definitely get this again. So anyway, guys, I'm sure I've had it pop over my shoulder several times. Red Sand by Sand City Brewing Company, out here on Long Island, Bayshore, Northport. Let me see if there's anything else I left out on the can. But anyway, I would check them out, especially if you live here on Long Island. The ones I've had have been fantastic, and this amber ale is really good. All right, guys, till the next video, have a great night. Take care.